This APC chieftain, Ali Modu Sherrif, has boasted on national television that as far as Nigeria is concerned, that Alhaji Bola Tinubu will win 2027 presidential election. He went further to stress that it is only two things that will prevent or stop Alhaji Bola Tinubu from winning the elections come 2027. And for the benefit of doubt, for those of you who do not know, this APC chieftain, Ali Modu Sherrif, happens to be a former governor of Borno State. He was a governor between the year 2003 down to the year 2011. These years were the advent of Boko Haramic activities in Borno State. That is to say, you cannot entirely remove this former governor of Borno State from the equation of Boko Haram in Borno State. But he is here telling Nigerians with confidence that Alhaji Bola Tinubu will sweep the election come 2027. There is also another pertinent question that was asked by a concerned Nigeria, which I will reveal to you at the end of this video. Make on a watch.
About numbers.
Your party controlled Kano. Your party controlled Kaduna, but you lost it. In 2023, your party controlled Lagos. You lost it.
The trouble about 2023 election, there's so many things that happen. And we know them. We have taken inventory. We have ever corrected it. But I can not tell you on television so that you go and tell our opponents that APC have already put together all their problems. We know where the problem lies, and we have already put the machinery in place to correct. And we have corrected a lot of them. Shaun, let me tell you, I am a practical...
Senator, have you corrected the pains of Nigerians too?
The pains
if you have politically corrected some of what did not make you win some state, the heart of Nigerians matter in winning them. Have you been able to correct
Shaun, the problem about, you see, today, unfortunately, President Buhari is no longer alive. A lot of things I would have said, I will not talk, because once in my own religion, if somebody is dead, you pray for you pray for him. May Allah give him a Jannah Firdausu. President Tinubu, I'm not taking a brief for him. Shaun, I'm not in government. I'm a private person. But the party that produced His Excellency the President is a party that we worked for and will continue going to work for. I can tell you for free, the only thing that will stop President Tinubu from winning election in 2037 are only two factors. One, if there's no election in Nigeria. Two, if he decides not to run. Otherwise, politically, I look at reality. I don't go to Jamboree. You see, politics, you have to study politics. Politics is a different ball game. You are expert in your media. You can ask the whole question you like in the world. But when it comes to politics, I can teach you. Because
you're a master in the game.
Because I have practice. I've been practicing it. I have won election. I've been elected to the Senate, for your information, 3 times. I've been a governor twice. I have made people to win election. I mentor people. Therefore, when I'm talking to you politics, Shaun, I'm talking to you purely what is on the ground. And let me tell you something, Shaun, what you don't know. I travel across Nigeria by road. I have plane. But I choose to drive by road to see the reactions of the common man. What is happening?
Are you seeing what the people are saying?
Whatever we see.
The pains of the Nigerian people. I'm happy that you travel by road.
Yes, wherever.
But do you see the pains of Nigeria?
Wherever there's a problem, where there is problem, we try to advise and tell the president, but that's not for television.
Are you able to, have you spoken to the president on your last travel on the road and see the faces, the fallen faces, the pains of some of the Nigerian people, some who cannot feed? Some would have
shown
lost their jobs.
These were not created by President Tinubu.
Well, in my own opinion, I sincerely disagree with Ali Modu Sherrif by saying that Alhaji Bola Tinubu will win 2027 presidential election. It is never going to happen because judging by the handwritings on the wall and judging from the countenance of Nigerians home and abroad, Tinubu will be voted out come 2027. Having established that, I have always known that politicians will always, speak on national television with confidence, especially people who have been part and parcel of the destructive mechanism that has kept Nigeria on its knee up till this very time. You saw the question that, Shehu asked him, have you addressed the concerns of Nigerians? He didn't answer that question. Have you addressed the cries, the hunger APC government inflicted on this nation? He didn't answer that question. And again, he also forgot about natural causes, which I told you that a concerned Nigeria asked that question. What about natural causes? So it means that God cannot even stop President Bola Tinubu. I have always known that in many occasions, God does not interfere with the activities of man so much, except when he becomes interested. And the moment God becomes interested, the equation will be balanced. You know what I mean? No atom of human intervention can actually thwart the plan of God when God decides to work. And that is what we regard often as miracle. And that was the singular reason this young man asked this question. So, do you mean that natural causes cannot stop President Bola Tinubu? Ask Abacha. This is a very pertinent question because oftentimes we brag based on who we are, the position we occupy, our material acquisitions and all of that, without understanding that there is a supreme being that rules this world. That until you challenge that supreme being by your influence, by your material acquisition, that is when oftentimes the supreme being we are talking about, God, comes into action to prove a point and make you understand that he governs the universe. And that is why the psalmist made it very clear in Psalm 24 verse 1 that the earth is of the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. So we acknowledge that there is a supreme being who owns all of us in earnest, no matter who you are and where you belong. Having established that, I also want to say this, that in the Nigeria of today, if election is done on a free, fair and credible platform, Peter Obi will beat President Bola Tinubu hands down. Yes, there is no justification that you will give me today to convince me that Peter Obi, who defeated Alhaji Bola Tinubu in his own alleged hometown, Lagos State, that Peter Obi will not defeat him again. I mean, there is no way you can convince me about that. First time, on the ballot as a presidential candidate, defeated the sitting president, in his own hometown. If not because of how much our institutions has derailed, INEC is principally the institution that brought all this calamity and pain to Nigerians home and abroad. And that is why many of us are lending our voices today for electoral reform. And definitely we'll still have 2 years ahead of us before the election. We will eventually get it right. Once again, when I listen to politicians like this former governor of Borno State, it begins to give me mixed feelings on whether this country, Nigeria, will actually get better. A two-time governor, 2003 to 2011, three-time senator, he maintained in that video that he has a plane, a private jet, but he decided to travel by road. At what point in time in his political career did he acquire a private jet? I think between 2017 or 2018 was when he bought a private jet. You begin to ask yourself, I do know that his father once owned a construction company in the 80s, of which he worked as a director in that company. Why didn't he acquire a private jet then, but only after becoming a politician? Peter Obi has maintained in this country that a country is doomed when politicians become more richer than successful businessmen and women. That is what we have in Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria is littered with alamanjiri. Hunger is destroying people's life. cutting destinies short, destroying ambitions and aspirations. Yet, all that matters to these politicians is how to continually grab power. And they eventually do nothing with those power they grab. It is crazy. This only happens in Africa. Go and check the history of the past president of the United States of America. Barack Obama, for example, there has been debate on whether Obama owns a private jet or not. Obama, sometime in 2023, traveled to Australia. He chartered a private jet, meaning he does not own any private jet. But in Nigeria, a common governor owns a private jet. Yes, a typical example is a former governor of Rivers State, the FCT minister. He owns a private jet. And this governor now, who made it public by himself, how did they acquire those money? Where did they get those money from? That is why we are lending our voice to actually have men of impeccable character that will move this country forward. It is not only at the presidency, even at the state level, there is a lot of rascality going on. And people who are not informed continue to support these men and women. It is entirely very crazy. And I will be concluding this section by saying it again. Even President Bola Tinubu, the entire APC, knows that P2B will beat Tinubu come 2027. Hence, the reason for all the attacks you're seeing today. They are afraid of that young man. All their plans now is how to destroy P2B's chances of becoming the president of this country. If you believe that Tinubu will win the election on a platter of gold, on a free and fair platform, why all this politics of rascality? Why all this politics of, malicious attack on P2B every now and then, hiring machineries here and there to disrupt the polity, to cause tension in the polity? It is, it is tiring. But we are not relenting. We will continue to bring transparency and x-ray all of these things to Nigerians so that we will begin to make informed decisions, knowing, fully well that it is only good political leadership that moves a country forward, not prayer, not fasting. Whether you like it or not, if you continue to support your brother or your sister because you are from the same region, you are from the same religion and all of that, Nigeria will continue to sit where it is sitting. The members of the other world communities will continue to look down on us, deny us visa, and treat us, whichever way it pleases them. Well, at this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge, as always. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section, and share this video. May another person see him. God bless you.